Hi, welcome back to our second full week of online school. It's time to pick up this week's new vocabulary. There's vocabulary practice every single day in the classroom. You know from class that we need to do something with it every single day in order to really stick it in your brains. I'm trying to change it up so you're practicing in a couple of different ways. So make sure you do that every single day. Don't try to front load them and do them all in one day. Spread it out. That's what makes your brain remember all of this. So the goal for today is to review the words you picked up last week. I will pause so that you can say the definition for each of the words in your head, and then we'll move on to the next one. If I'm going too fast, you can pause the video in between each of the words. That is the advantage of the words. So let's go ahead and start with the review. Again, I will pause and I want you to say the definition either out loud or in your head to review it, and then check your answer on the next slide. Okay, our first review word is nefarious. Prudent. Precipitous. Foreshadow. Disconcerting. And atmosphere. Okay, so let's look at our new words. You are going to write meaningful sentences for omission, deter, and call. So these are our new words for our first day back as we settle into online school for the next month. Our first new word is omission. And the image for omission, I've got this guy over here. He's like a bouncer outside of an exclusive club, and it says, sorry, your name is not on the list. Because of the omission of John's name from the list at the door, he was not allowed inside the club for the movie's after party. It was for list people only. Since Jose was such a great soccer player, his omission from the team roster left everyone speechless. They could not believe he was not on the roster. The omission of the funeral scene from the film left a huge hole in the story. It would have been better had they left the scene in. Omission is someone or something that has been left out or excluded. Someone or something that has been left out or excluded. Omission. And remember, you can always pause if you need more time. Our next word is call. And the image I have are a couple of badgers, and it says, quick, pretend you're a panda. To control the badger population, the government chose to cull 20% with poison. Because the herd was so large, the Smiths culled 6 of the 20 sheep. They sold them for meat. In an effort to control the kangaroo population, Australians are allowed to cull a small percentage of the animals, usually choosing to kill and eat them. What do you think cull means? To cull is to control the size of a group of animals by killing some of them. To control the size of a group of animals by killing some. Cull. Our next word is a Common Core State Standard word. You've seen this on your L to J. It is epic. An epic is a long poem narrating the deeds and adventures of heroic or legendary figures or the history of a nation. Both of them are long poems. So you can either have a long poem that is the history of a nation or a long poem that narrates the adventures of a hero or a famous figure, and both of those are called epics. a long poem narrating the deeds and adventures of heroic or legendary figures or the history of a nation. Epic. Our next word is deter, and I have two images for deter. The first one has a picture of some eggshells, and it says deter slugs with eggshells, and it's in front of a garden. The second one has a security officer, and it says how a uniformed presence helps deter crime. The heavy perfume scent in Bath & Body Works deters me from entering the store. It is too smelly and drives me away. Brandy's parents' threat of taking away her car deterred her from skipping any more school. While scarecrows are supposed to deter crows from entering the garden, I have not found that to work very well. So what do you think deter means? To deter is to discourage someone from doing something, and you typically do it by creating doubt or fear about consequences. So it is stopping somebody from doing something because they're afraid of consequences. It's making them think twice about it, or it's turning them away from doing something. So in the case of the teenager, the threat that we will take away your car if you continue to skip school was enough to deter her. It changed the behavior. Having a police officer or a security officer in the store deters crime because people are fearful of the consequences. Deter. To discourage someone from doing something, typically by instilling doubt or fear of the consequences. And our final word for the week is consensus. It is a Common Core State Standard word. And in this case, we've got some oranges and an apple in the front. And it says the oranges reached a consensus to accept the apple into the club. Nobody objected. If you are reaching a consensus, you are coming to an agreement. To come to an agreement. All right, that's our list of words for this week. I'm just going to go back one. Remember, you are writing a meaningful sentence for omission, deter, and call. Please make sure that you've got both parts of your sentence, that you have the word included, and you've got the second part that shows the meaning of the word. And then remember, you do need to capitalize and you do need to use punctuation. You cannot get 3s on that assignment if you leave those things out. So double check before you turn them in, and check your spelling. You're on a computer. You can definitely use the computer to fix your spelling. All right, well, I will see you on the next assignment.